HU sir.
Yeah.
I think you can officially start the program. We are live now.
Okay. So good afternoon, dear friends. Often nervousness and examinations go hand in hand in the lives of students. Once the word examinations is heard towards the end of the academic session. Yeah.
I think you can officially start the program. We are live now.
Okay. So I'll switch on the YouTube. So good afternoon, dear friends. Often nervousness and examinations go hand in hand in the lives of students. So we want to disassociate these two things, nervousness with examinations. In this direction, with the help of Department of Psychiatry, BRC Hospital, Mumbai, we planned a series of talks under Let's Talk. The first lecture in this series of Let's Talk, today you are going to listen to a lecture or a talk on feeling nervous. Dr. Shobha Nair, Head Department of Psychiatry, BRC Hospital, is there with us. She will give a brief introduction to this topic and to the speaker. Dr. Shobha Nair, you can start.
Thank you so much, Sharma sir. Good afternoon, students, and a warm welcome to the first talk on this talk series called Let's Talk. Department of Psychiatry at BARC Hospital is extremely pleased to collaborate with Atomic Energy Education Society to have these kind of outreach programs in order to address issues concerning our mental health and to promote emotional well-being of the student community. We run a child guidance clinic every Tuesday, every second and fourth Tuesday of a month, wherein we see children with their families, wherein we try to find out as to what are the reasons for issues concerning either academics or learning or emotional problems or even relationship issues with either siblings or parents. And then we sit down and work towards mutually acceptable scientific solutions. So though we have often got invitations from schools and our junior college from time to time to address teachers and parents or students on various pertinent mental health issues, the pandemic has really made us all realize that emotional well-being for all of us is extremely crucial, just like physical health is. And therefore, this endeavor to try and connect with you all and discuss various issues which may be useful to all of you. The pandemic has also fortunately got us easy access to you all so that we can have outreach programs spanning the whole country with the use of various digital platforms. So that has made our work much easier. We saw that in the last 1 year or so, we have been seeing many adolescents coming to us and with various issues, and we do feel that a small section of the student population has been severely impacted by whatever happened in the last 2 years. Today, I take this opportunity also to thank our immediate past head medical division, our present HMD, and the entire management of Atomic Energy Education Society, Lahiri sir, and especially Krishna Sharma sir and his team who has worked with us to enable us to start this Let's Talk series. So I would sincerely request all of you students to give your feedback after these sessions. Ask whatever doubts that come to you in your chat box. And we would also welcome suggestions from you regarding what kind of topics we should cover in the future. And what we are doing is we would be targeting different age groups with different topics tailor-made to their needs as to what we feel. And we hope that this is the beginning, or we are embarking on a very fruitful journey for all the stakeholders, that's the students, teachers, parents, and the community as a whole. So I hope you all enjoy this. The first lecture today will be delivered by Mrs. Divya Ramdas. She is a clinical psychologist and a counselor working in our Department of Psychiatry at our hospital for the last 13 years. And she evaluates children, she administers different kinds of psychological tests to diagnose problems, and also counsels children and families for the problems with which they approach. So may I now hand over to Divya to talk on feeling nervous. Thank you.
సార్ వాడికి చెప్పండి స్క్రీన్ బ్లాంక్ అయింది వచ్చింది రండి ఇక్కడికి టైం ల్యాగ్
Thank you, Dr. Shobha, for introducing me. Hi, friends. Today, as you know, I'm here to talk with you, and the topic chosen is nervousness. I wish to talk to you about this strong emotion because it has a tremendous effect on all of our lives. It is one of the emotions that have been called with different names. We know them as worries, we know them as fear, we know them as nervousness. But in terms of psychology, in psychology, we call it anxiety. We call it anxiety. So what is this anxiety? All of us have faced situations which has caused us mild anxieties, like when we misplaced our favorite pen, haven't we? From there to severe anxieties, like last year you faced your board exams. It was a severe anxiety causing situation, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. Like this, there can be many anxiety or fear producing, nervousness producing situations. Like, for example, you planned for an outdoor picnic, you arranged everything, you called your friends, and suddenly it starts raining heavily. Isn't it causing nervousness? One day you took your mother's phone to play a game when she was not around, and by mistake you scratched the screen. What do you think you're going to feel? You're going to feel nervous. Then you were asked to you wanted a gift for your birthday. Your mother told you you can buy a gaming console. Now there are so many gaming consoles and you cannot just decide. You feel that if I buy one, I will miss out on the features of others. That also causes you stress, tension, doesn't it? Yes, they all do. Broadly, the anxiety that we feel can come from 3 different sources. The first is frustration. Frustration is when we are trying to go towards a goal, we are trying to achieve a goal, and some kind of hindrance, some kind of badha comes in the way. One of the example can be that I have this celebration to attend in Delhi. We have a reunion of our class 10th, and it is in Delhi. I am so excited to go there. I'm very ready to go there. I've made preparations since days. I've called up my friends. The last minute, the flight gets cancelled. It is going to cause me a lot of stress. What has happened? My goal got blocked. So this is because of frustration. Then there is another kind of situation which causes anxiety. That is actually very good for us. It's like giving us choices. We have many choices in front of us, but because of those many choices, we are also stressed out. We have to choose even a simple choice like what dress to buy to go to a party. From there to what stream to choose to study ahead. You must have made that choice last year, haven't you? It was very stressful. The third kind of stress or nervous anxiety producing situation is called pressure. Pressure comes from external factors like the society around us. Our society has many rules, regulations, which we are expected to follow. That can cause us anxiety. We ourselves have some expectations from us. It might be about the rules it might be about the results I should get. It might be about the way I look. It might be about the impression I want to make on others. All this causes us pressure. It expects us something to change in us, which is very stressful, which causes us anxiety. So these are also pressures, and this is also one of the cause of anxiety. So how do we know that we are anxious? It is pretty easy for us that we many a times we say कि अरे यार आज मेरे को तो बहुत anxiety हो रही है, आज मैं बहुत nervous हूँ. लेकिन कभी-कभी it is not possible to understand that we are anxious. So there are some bodily signs which actually tell us that we are anxious. What are the signs? They are sweaty palms, raising of hearts, difficulty breathing, upset stomach, etc. Most of you must have at some point in time felt any of these symptoms, haven't you? Okay. You all can tell me in the chat box below some of such incidents where you've experienced these. Okay. So why do we feel this nervousness? Is it an important part of our life? Why does our mind become anxious? Is anxiety always bad? No, anxiety actually is a signal for danger. It helps us also. How does it help us? It helps us to prepare for any kind of threat that is in our environment. By threat, I don't just mean dangerous things. It can also mean challenges. For example, you have an exam. You have an exam coming after 2 days. And now you have to face it. So anxiety asks you, it actually pushes you or motivates you that please start studying. You need to perform better. So you start studying. Here, what you did was you fought. You fought and you won because anxiety pushed you to do that. Let me take another scenario. You are walking on the road. You are trying to cross the road and you see a motorist coming towards you. And now when you see the motorist, again, your anxiety comes in. It makes you afraid. It warns you about the danger. There is an accident going to happen. So what you do, you flee from there. You take a flight. You go back to the sidewalk. So here, what did you do? You took the flight response. Okay. So anxiety has a good role to play also. These are good responses or coping mechanisms of anxiety. But sometimes what happens is that anxiety is so severe that you are not able to make the correct choice between whether to fight or to take a flight. An example of the exam I'll give. You have that exam after 2 days and you are not prepared at all. So what you will do? You will say that I'm going to be sick that day. I will not go to school that day. Or you can say that you will talk to yourself and say that that exam is not important to me. It does not matter. My other friends are also not going to give the exam. So what you are doing is, where you should be fighting, you are taking a flight. But this is not a positive or a good method of coping. What this will do is, it will relieve anxiety for a short period of time. But it will be replaced by guilt. You will feel guilty. You will feel sorry for lying to yourself and people around you. Won't you? Yes, you would. So, okay, now we know that worry or anxiety can be fought or you can take a flight from it. But some anxieties don't go away that easily. They tend to stay for a prolonged period of time. COVID-19, it is still with us. We are still dealing with it. So what happens when we live with such unhealthy worry or anxiety for a long period of time? It leads to some of the ill effects on our physical as well as our psychological or mental health. When you are constantly worried, it does not allow you to pay attention to the present work that you are trying to do. When you sit to study, you are worried about those worries that are coming into your mind. You cannot concentrate. What happens then? You make mistakes in your work. Then what happens? It leads to difficulty sleeping. You don't feel hungry anymore. And finally, you would like to distance yourself from your friends, your family, your loved ones, and you would like to just sit and worry. So these are some of the ill effects of continued worry. Okay, now we know why worry happens. Now we know what are its ill effects. So what are we supposed to do about it? How do we deal with these worries? You must have all heard the saying, name it to tame it. What does this mean is that as long as the anxiety is not in front of us, we just keep feeling anxious, we are not able to deal with it. But if we identify the anxiety, we identify the thought which is making me anxious, we name it and even write it down in front of us, it becomes more concrete. It does not stay, it is not invisible anymore. It is in front of me. Thus, we are able to bring down the intensity of anxiety. Now we know we are afraid of this. Some example can be our thoughts like, oh, I'm going to fail the exam. Oh, I will not be able to perform in front of others. Oh, everybody is going to laugh at me. See what I have won. Everybody is going to laugh at me. These are all our worries. So when we bring it in front of us, we write it down, we will be able to analyze it and then realize that some of those thoughts are illogical or don't matter much, thus reducing the intensity. Another thing that you can do with anxiety, what does anxiety do? What did COVID-19 do to us? It changed everything in our world. Suddenly the world was in turmoil. Everywhere it was chaos. We didn't know what to do, how to control. In the midst of this chaos, we were given 2-3 rules, 2-3 structured rules to follow. That was wear a mask, wash your hands repeatedly, and maintain social distancing. So now we had some rules to follow, and following these rules, it helped us to have a little more control over this uncontrollable situation. What it did? It reduced our anxiety, didn't it? Okay. Another step that you need to do regularly is that, as we already know, when we are anxious, we start hyperventilating. We are not able to take proper breaths. Our heart starts racing. We feel helpless. We are not able to think properly. So what we need to do is relax ourselves, calm down first. One of the major thing that you need to do for relaxation is deep breathing exercises, wherein you can take in a deep breath, hold it for 3 to 4 seconds, and slowly release it. When you are doing this activity, concentrate on the breath. As you do this activity for 5 or 10 times, you find that you are calm, you are much more calmer, and then you are able to think better. Okay. So then what will you think? Another major, this is the most cardinal rule for facing anxiety. It is to change our thinking. What does anxiety do to us? When we are anxious, our anxiety exaggerates our fear. It tells us there is no way out. You are not going to win in this situation. Nothing is going to help you. And then what we do is we calm ourselves down and identify these negative thinking. Once we have identified them, we replace them with helpful thought process. Like, let us take the example of today you come to the classroom and suddenly teacher announces that you have a surprise test today. You are not at all prepared for the test, but now you have to give the exam. What are you going to do? Suddenly, because of anxiety, the thoughts that come into your mind is, you are going to fail this test. You are a big loser. You never do anything properly. Today, you are gone. You will not be able to answer even a single question. Instead of that, you stop for a minute. You calm yourself down and start thinking. Okay, accepted that I'm not prepared for this exam, but I have some idea of what has been taught. Let me try to attempt the exam. Maybe I will not be able to get full marks or even 50% of it, but still I will put in as much efforts as I can. When you do this, you will automatically find that your anxiety comes down and you are able to attempt the test. And maybe you will be surprised by how much you scored on that surprise test. Okay. Change of thoughts. There are some other examples also which I would like to give, some concrete examples. For example, you are now organizing a big event in your school. You have arranged for chief guest, you have arranged for everything, you have arranged for stalls. Now you have events like dance and singing competition and all that. It's going on. And from behind the curtains, that you see that some people get up and walk out of the hall. Suddenly, because of anxiety, again your mind will tell you very unhelpful thoughts. It will tell you, oh my goodness, this whole event is a failure. See, all of them are leaving the hall. All of them they find this a very bad event. You are a big failure now. So then what you need to do? Again, stop and think. Yeah, there are some people who are leaving, but majority of the people are still sitting and enjoying the event, aren't they? And maybe the people who are leaving might have some urgent business that they need to carry out. That could be the reason they are leaving. Did you see what happened? When I replaced my thoughts with helpful thinking, my anxiety came down. Okay, so you all need to try this. You all need to find such helpful thoughts for your negative thoughts. And when you sit and think, you will all be able to do this. And one more thing that you need to remember is that you need not take the burden of all your anxieties on your own. You can actually share them. You can actually share them with your close ones, your parents, your friends. And when you share them, you will find that some of your friends might also face the same anxiety. Some of them might have solution for your anxiety. And then you will realize that, oh my goodness, I should have done this before. Okay, so please try that. Okay. As I said, some of the activities that cause anxiety are the pressures that we have on ourselves. We have certain expectations from us. For example, I want to do very well on the stage. I want to present a dance on the stage, but I have stage fear. I'm just not able to do it. I'm a good dancer when I'm not on the stage, but the minute I go on the stage, I start shivering. I'm not able to give a good performance. So what do I do about it? What you can do is, you can do an activity which is similar to this severely anxiety causing situation. You can do that and then see that your anxiety comes down. What you can do is, you can participate in a group dance. It is very similar to the solo dance event, in that you are on the stage, you are performing the dance that you like, but because there are other people around you to support you, you are not as anxious. So this is called a step-by-step method to overcome your fears. Okay. So engage in an activity that causes a lesser amount of stress, but is very similar to the activity that you are afraid of the most. And when you do this activity, and when you are able to successfully overcome your fear, you need to reward yourself. You need to give a pat on your back. You need to say, well done. Okay. Apart from all this, during COVID-19, what did we all do? We all had a lot of time with us. So many of us started going back to our old hobbies that we did not have time for. We started dance classes, we started singing, we started to learn painting. Many of our parents also must have gone back to their hobbies, haven't they? So what does this say is that all these hobbies and engaging in these activities helps you distract yourself from anxiety and gives you self-confidence. It helps you elevate your self-esteem, and that helps you to fight anxiety better. Many times what happens is, we need some quick fix techniques, and we don't have the time to do all the strategies that have been mentioned. For example, you are sitting in front of a dentist's office for a tooth extraction. What are you going to do? You're very nervous. You cannot do anything at that point in time because you're so seriously anxious. What you can do at that point in time is maybe play a memory game. Memory game, like, for example, what the route that I came from home to the office, what all things I saw on the route, which was the route that I took, how many cars I saw, do I remember them, do I remember the people that I saw, do I remember the face of the driver who came with me. So you can play such a memory game, or you can make list of categories, like the flavor of ice cream that you know, the names of countries of our continent, that is Asia. Let me tell you, there are 49 countries. See if you can name all of them. Then you can also recite a poem. I have a favorite poem of mine, which I generally recite when I need to be grounded. It is called Naughty Boy. The poem goes like, there was a naughty boy, and naughty boy was he. He ran away to Scotland, the people there to see. You all can go and check it out. It's a very beautiful poem. Okay. Or otherwise, you can have your own poems also. Then jokes. All of us laugh when we see physical comedy, don't we? We all love Mr. Bean, don't we all? So you can think of those scenarios of Mr. Bean, Kapil Sharma show, anything that makes you laugh. Okay. Sometimes the mind shuts down. It does not want to think at all. At that point in time, you can do some physical activities like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method, where you need to hear 5 sounds. You need to identify 5 sounds that you hear around you. You need to see 4 things that you see around. You need to touch 3 things around you. You need to smell 2 things around, and finally taste something around you. Okay. This method is used for grounding. that helps you alleviate anxiety. So now we come to the key points. There is something that you need to remember. What do you need to remember? That feeling anxious or nervous is totally normal. It's fine. It's a normal part of our life. But when anxiety continues for a long period of time, or it is very severe, it can have bad effects on our life. But it is always possible to learn to deal or manage our anxiety. It is possible to change our thoughts to help decrease our anxieties. And it is perfectly okay to seek help whenever you need. One more thing I would like to tell you is that after doing all this, or even before doing all this, you have overwhelming anxiety. You don't know what to do about it, or you have tried everything and still you find that the anxiety is not relieved. It is interfering in your life. You can contact your parents, your teachers, and come and meet us. We are here for you. Thank you for listening to me. You got this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Divya Ramdas.
Thank you very much, sir.
It's a beautiful lecture, and there were nearly 50 viewers and 18 likes for this program so far.
Thank you, sir.
And there is only one question so far that I had come across in the chat box.
Okay, sir.
One boy of 15 years, he says he has a doubt whether these techniques work or not.
Yes, sir, they do work. These are the techniques that we use day in and day out with our patients, and they do work, sir. They do work.
They do work.
Yes,
So,
they do work. But the thing is, you need to practice them. You need to practice them repeatedly. It
okay,
is a habit that you are forming.
okay.
So any habit takes time to form. So you have to be consistent in repeating it.
In repeating it.
Yes, sir.
So I think that will be the suggestion from the counselor to the
Yes, sir.
child who had posted his question in the chat box. Now I think anyway, your techniques or activities that could alleviate this nervousness, some of them are very good. Deep breathing, replacing the ideas, and step-by-step method, and some of the quick fixes, the techniques which you had given. I feel they'll be of more useful to our students to come out of their nervousness before the examinations. And I hope by following these techniques, they can come out of their nervousness and they will do well in their examinations.
Yes.
With this, I think we can conclude today's talk on feeling nervous. Thank you, your team. Particularly thanks to Dr. Shobha Nair for arranging this. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir.
How to end this? Automatically it will end, na? Sir? Automatically this program will end, na? YouTubing?